Hello guys, it's me Eddy from English Studio. So let's start it now. Now from your previous activity, which is talk about many people. Let me see this one. So many people say that they hate mathematics. So I will give you the feedback, but I think it's this is not too detailed. I just give you the general one. So wait for it because I'm going to use to. Okay, here we go. So if you see the questions, this question is asking you to give a reasons of many people say that they had mathematics. So if you see this one, I stated to this is the original one, while this is the feedback. So I just focus on the feedback that we're going to discuss today. So the feedback for this one, because the writer here tries to write the reason of this statement, then here we go. This is caused by the challenge existing in mathematics. I omit have made, and I change into making. Some students I also omit concede or, and I change into fail. And while some, this is I omit them because this is repetitive. I think it's so. Some, sorry, just there was some. Let me make some changes. Okay. Because some of them it is written with 3 words, so you better use 1 word, sums only. So some who haven't tried to I ate some idea. This is my idea. If you see, you couldn't even find out to complete here in the original text, but in a feedback that I add my ideas here. So to complete this, have suggested the difficulty of mathematics. I put the highlighted here because this needs more improvement. This is not clear enough. Why you say difficult in mathematics? If I were you, then I will give 1 or 2 explanations. So if you couldn't even so, then I think it much better if you omit it. Thank you. Next, now let's move on to the next exercise or to the next paragraph the student have. And here the students write. There are probably external and internal process of it, where the internal one probably comes from the reluctance of thinking. For me, this is too bulky. I mean, this is too wordy. So you don't need to give like a complicated idea. So if you want to score 7th place, I want you to straight to the point. So less wordy, then making some bulky statement. So I omit this one. So from this one, the sentences I have from the thinking, then I omit, and I change reluctance of thinking. I change reluctant to think logically, and or poor long-term memory. So and then you need to see here is commonly found. Okay. Okay. And then I write, and requiring these people to memorize abundant complex formula as well to compress application, calculus, and trigonometry. Good. Also, you see here, so I highlighted again, this also can external boring, so you don't need to include this one. So if you want to write this one, then I think it's this your paragraph going to be bulky. So if you say also this is boring and unpleasant, why you say so? If you don't have any explanation, just omit it. So that's why I write here. So this the highlight one needs more improvement. So if I were you, then I simply omit this one. So make it more simply. Thank you. And then now let's move on to the next paragraph. So here students write, and original, they say the original one here, and this is the feedback. So if you see, so the writer use lowercase, but you need to use the uppercase letter if you start your writing. So most people are being forced to memorize. So I think you better use passive here instead of you need to use active sentence, because if you use active sentence, then the meanings will be meaningless. and I add my idea here. Then I use are being, and also I use force to memorize all the rules and equations involve such integral and differentials. Okay, in reality also I think it's this need more improvement for this one, for the yellow one, so I write it this one. If you couldn't even explain them, so that explain them into more detail, or for me it is unclear for the reader, so I just say needs more improvement. So if you do not want to make this improvement better, so just omit it. So one very simple way. Next, here we go. So again, this is good, much better compared to the previous one. So this is because most people have undervalued mathematics as a demanding subject, okay, without learning it completely. Good. This is very good reason. Apart from this, so I'm not going to use finishing it. So I changed into accomplishing it. Accomplishing its complex questions. So math questions I changed into its complex complex questions, right? Requires a logical thinking, and due to many formulas that should be involved in a plausible way. Okay, good. And I add some idea here, taking attention and time for those who do not understand. So if you see the blue one is my idea. Okay. And the red one is the relevant, can be the idea, and also can be the grammar. So here we go, next. So if you see them, so this writer say, this writer tried to write the reason, but I think that all the sentences they're little bit irrelevant, almost irrelevant, and also the paragraph is too wordy and less direct. Less direct itu adalah mutar-mutar. Here we go. There are some reason why people are being irritated with math. You repeat the statement from the questions. So you repeat this one. So you don't need to do this one. So if you do this one, so you couldn't even score higher because you just repeat what you have said. So so that's why I omit this one. And also, it might be self-motivation, support from the surrounding. It is also unclear. So what kind of self-motivation that you want to talk? And surrounding, what do you mean by surrounding? It is unclear. Next, moving on to the next sentence. Some mathematics needs some strategy to tackle. Some people tend to learn another subject with the patience and capability. So why you talk about another subject here? You're not allowed to discuss any other subject instead mathematics, because we need to focus on mathematics. So I just say that all the sentences irrelevant here. Next, let's move on to the next. I do not make some changes, by the way, for the grammar, since I see that the sentences or the ideas are irrelevant, so I do not make some changes on the grammar. So make sure your grammar, you are good at in grammar, so easy to understand. So this makes me make some changes for your sentences or your paragraph. If you have a poor grammar, if you have a poor ideas, I couldn't even make some changes on the grammar. So you have a poor grammar, but you have a brilliant idea, so I can help you to do so. So this also, here we go. So everyone do not have similar intelligence. So we do not talk about everyone's. We talk about why people hate mathematics. The logic one possibly love mathematics. Irrelevance, you need to think of put your shoe on other side. So it's easy for you to develop your argument why some people say this is hard. So it helps them exercise the brain. For those good linguistic musicals to know. So you're not allowed to compare. You're not allowed to compare mathematics with other subject, because you are not asked to do so. So you don't need to read this one. So I say that this is irrelevant. So I do not make some changes for the grammar since the ideas are relevant. So here we go. This is the next paragraph we have. Mathematics is one subject which is high focus demanded to learn. This is too complicated. So make sure your sentence easy to understand. Here we go. Mathematics is demanding task. This is good. Why? As more complex formulas need to be memorized. Well, that's it. And what about the rest of the sentences? The rest sentences are being omitted since irrelevant. So you don't need to talk about accounting, memorizing, irritated. So you don't need to talk about this one. So leave this for your example. Okay, here we go. The next. Okay. So if you see, so so beware of using your idea. So I think before you answer the questions, and I want you to make like a small research. Go to Google, go to the internet, find out the reason why people do this one, and I want you to take one detailed reason why you say so instead of you like this one, right? People very struggle learn to math. Why struggle to? Are required to memorize. Okay, good. So that's why, but I changed. Are required to memorize complex formulas, making them struggle to learn. That's it. Okay, instead of you say, people struggle to learn, blah, blah. So just make it simple. Here we go. So this is good, but need some changes on the grammar. While the next sentences, on the other hand, many people think is dull. They most likely do not get excited about the numbers, formula, the weight exact form. So it is also, you don't need to talk about history, science, language, other subject, because you are not allowed to discuss this one on this responses. So that's why I omitted. Right, here we go. The next paragraph. So because most people, so here we go. This is the biggest mistake that sometimes students make. You're not allowed to start using because. If you want to do so, then you can say this one. This is because instead of because. Okay. So you need to omit this one. So the grammar. So here still have a problem, but you still have a problem with the grammar, but I understand what you are trying to say, so that's why I make some changes. Here we go, the changes. People attempt to complete mathematics questions, often find difficulties in answering them as they do not have any prior knowledge, giving a rise to being away with it all. With it all, okay. So what about the rest? The rest I omitted, this irrelevant. Next questions, next responses, sorry. Here we go. You try to write, but I don't know, because you try to compare this mathematics with other subject or other any activity. So you're not allowed to do this in your responses for these questions, because you are not allowed to do so. And also, mathematics as study hated by some people because their brain tend to think with the right brain. It is also irrelevant. No any other further explanation for this one. So that's why I said it is irrelevant. Okay. Thank you. Here we go. Next. So original, it is for sure mathematics is complicated one. Yes, I know. Why? Because the question says so. The questions mathematics is complicated one. So the question says so. So but why they don't like this one? So I think it's, if I were you, then I would like to omit it. And also the yellow one needs more improvement. So it is also, you need to omit it. So let me give an example. So that is to say, complex formulas are required to solve any specific case for this subject. So that's the simple idea. Instead of you write, it is for sure mathematics is complicated, one needs well logical thinking. So there is no further explanation why you say this is complicated. But if you say that complex formulas required, okay, I think it's you need verb here. So complex formulas are required to solve any specific case for this subject. So, okay, this is much better because we know the complex is the formula, but here we don't know. Mathematics is complicated one. One here refers to, we don't know. This one here refers to the subject, refers to the formula. We don't know. So I want you to make this clear by saying, if you want to change, then you can say mathematics has, if you want to make has complicated, or let's say formulas. So much better. Instead of you say is a complicated one, unclear, right? So that's why this I make some changes. That is to say, the complex formula required to solve this one. That's so, and then this is my sample. This is can be one of the possible answers. So let's say, so if you see, this is the questions. Many people say they had mathematics. So if you see my, I try to break down this one. Who are they? Who are the people here? So I try to go straight to the point. So the people that I'm going to discuss is the student. Okay, so that's why here you see me, I write students. Then I say some students find it difficult to understand formula. So find it difficult. Why difficult? Because they need to memorize and cannot help them improve the score. So that's why make them away from this one. So I think it is not them. So I change into them. So making them away with the subject. So this is only the example, the reason. Okay, I just write the reason why many people had. Let me see the questions. Why many people say that they had mathematics? So I say that. So some students find it difficult to fully understand formulas, although memorizing them cannot help improving math scores, making them away with the subject. So if you find out this one difficult to understand, they will be discussed not in a reason, but in a example. We will not discuss example now. We'll discuss example in the later on. So the difficulties here, there will be broken down into small chunks when it comes to the example. So for reason, I do not discuss this one. This is strong reason why some people think that they hate mathematics. Difficult to understand for the formula. Even they memorize cannot help improve the score. That's it. Thank you for today, everyone. See you for the next activity.